screen with you all as well now. Let's share my screen. Screen one, and we are good. Okay, I am presenting. Exactly. Okay, so y'all see my presentation?
Yep.
Right. Okay, it looks like a gray screen on my Google Meet. So I just wanted to make sure you saw that. So I am going to be discussing kind of my workflow with Twitch, Discord, and YouTube, which is a little bit different than what the what everybody else uses, to me anyway. Here is actually the screen, assuming that you can see my streaming software here. This is usually when I would be talking with students before class. I would be, you know, shooting the stuff with them just to make sure everybody's online, and then I would go into presenting. So I'm sure you all have streaming software, and if you don't, then I'm going to assume. Oh no, my streaming software is um, in the wrong location. Okay, well we can make this work. Always going to be a few little headaches here as well, I'm sure, with teaching online. So, we have a screen that's not going full. Okay. Technology headaches done. So my good camera is going out to Twitch. So I've got a very lovely HD camera set up here. My Google Meet, you're probably not watching me, you're watching my screen. It's a very grainy camera, so if you're watching that, I apologize. But this is my setup here. So a little bit about me, enough kind of wandering about here. So I've been with the Google Cloud Faculty Program for quite a while now. I've been CSE faculty at Oakland University in Michigan. I am actually moving to another university here in the fall, which I'm very excited about. It's going to be a little bit more teaching focused, so that means you all get to hear me a little bit more often. Um, and just kind of where I am at with GCP, I use it mainly as a supplementary tool in my classes. Um, Pretty much every class I've used the compute engine for virtual machines, which has been absolutely wonderful for, say, like my system administration classes or software engineering classes where they can create VMs and just destroy them as they want. I also use cloud functions. Those are a lot of fun. And, basically I try to use whatever I can here. So that is a little bit about me. I used to have a little bullet point in here that I'm the one that likes to give Lori a hard time just to keep her on her toes, but I figured that was a little bit too much to put in the slides. If you want to follow along, so I am streaming this live right now. You may see some of my students drop in, possibly. I didn't advertise this, but some of them followed me on Twitch to see when I would go live. So they may pop in. I'm gonna have to watch the chat for that. I also set up a Discord server for us as well. And I'm gonna talk about why I'm using these tools. All right, so first of all, some of the ground rules that I just want to kind of get in place, maybe caveats. This is what works for me. I really like this tool chain. I'm not a huge fan of some of the other ones that are out there, but if you like Zoom, if you're a big fan of Google Meet, which we're obviously using here for the other stream, you like Slack, you like Panoptic, WebEx, any of the numerous tools out there, use those. By all means, if you are comfortable with that, if you can have a seamless experience, that's kind of what you're going for here. For me, I took some time evaluating the different tools, Panoptic and Zoom. Well, my school didn't pay for Zoom for one, so I couldn't use that. WebEx has some problems. Panoptic was kind of annoying for me, and I got a lot of feedback from students that didn't like that either. So again, just caveat, this is what I use. This is what I like. My classes this past semester, in the spring, I'm going to assume that you all probably taught online, probably during the summer too. You probably have some experience in teaching as well. So I am by no means an expert. I'm just giving you a success story, or at least what I think is a success story. The classes that I've used so far are mainly synchronous and traditional. So it's kind of geared towards the active learning lecture type of situation where I would do a PowerPoint or, a Google Slides presentation. Um, I'd go over some points, I'd ask some questions, I'd get students talking, maybe a little bit of group work discussion types of things. This is the classes that I've used it for and where it's worked. I like to call this the Dora the Explorer style of lecturing, where I go over something, I ask a question, then I stare blankly until somebody answers me. Um, oh, how did you come up with the Twitch username? So this is a joke that my sister made. I guess it's a SpongeBob reference, I think, Mr. Dr. Professor. Um, it's also the German Herr Dr. Professor thing, I think, as well. But I used to have it more as a an ancient username. Sorry, I'm answering the comment in the stream as well. Um, but whatever username you want, obviously, whatever is available and free and hopefully relevant. Um, so one thing that I'm going to be probably trying out in the fall with this as well, I'm not 100% certain how this particular tool chain is going to work with a flipped classroom style of teaching, where it's more student driven, more student led. I had a lot of success with in-class labs. I had success with student-driven presentations. Um, but a fully flipped class where the students do all the work and, we basically are the facilitators, I'm not necessarily certain how that would go. For student presentations, what I had them do is record YouTube videos. I would live stream it through Twitch. Everybody would be in our stream, and then we would discuss after the video was done, kind of a thing. There are lots of ways to facilitate this. So I'm still kind of exploring how this is going to work. Quick question from the chat. So how much time does it take to master the tools? I use Discord personally anyway, so I was already used to it. Twitch I had never done before. Streaming I have never done before. I am using Windows. The software I'm using makes it maddeningly easy to get going. You have to learn the interface. You have to click through a few things, but honestly, it was super easy for me to get into this. There's a reason that a lot of younger people are making a living streaming themselves live playing games because it's just so easy to get up and running. The tricky thing's building a community, but it's a different lecture, I suppose. Okay, so why am I talking about this? I wrote a blog post that makes me an expert, obviously. Basically, I just kind of outlined the tool chain. I thought it would be helpful for other people. But like I said, I had very good anecdotal evidence that students like this. Some of them asked me to show other people how I did it, so that's kind of why I mentioned that this would be a good idea. All right, so to the point that was brought up right before the stream, students by and large, coming out of high school, even current students in college, are using these tools in their personal life. By and large, you could probably ask any student, they will know what Twitch is, and they may even regularly use it. They follow gamer communities, or they follow particular hobbies that people will live stream on Twitch. Okay, people play games. There are a lot of success stories where you have self-made millionaires. You have people doing cooking shows, people putting on live concerts. There are a ton of things that are on Twitch right now, which is wonderful. You could say the same about Discord. A lot of communities are built up using Discord now instead of forum software or IRC chats. And then the third thing is obviously YouTube. This is going to be your cornerstone of permanence. All right, so everybody knows what YouTube is by this point, and that's kind of why this is relevant to this community, because it's YouTube, which makes it Google driven, right? I use this for permanence, right? So I use this to make sure that things don't disappear when students want to go back and watch it. All right, so these three technologies are what I use. Sorry, I should be pointing at the screen. And the thing with this is that you're going to have to get by some connotations that come with it. Twitch and Discord are known as either gamer services, or you're probably going to see a lot of scary news articles about it being toxic, right? You're going to have that in any online platform where it's completely free, where it is maybe not moderated, and you're going to have that. The thing that I was thinking about, though, with this set of tools is that the gaming community, whether you think it's frivolous or not, it's a billion-dollar industry where all of these tools are optimized for minimizing latency, for high quality, and for a really great, quality of service. Why not take what is working absolutely perfectly and apply it to teaching? The students love it already. It's a very good tool set, and I don't have to pay for a Zoom license, for instance. Okay, so what do these do? I'm going to go through kind of a demo towards the end. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to join in. I'm kind of pointing in various locations. I've got a camera over here. I've got my laptop in front of me. To my right is my secondary monitor with all of my chats popping up. And I'm not doing a great job of monitoring them all. So we'll see how it goes. I just realized I had forgot to hit record, so this is going to be a good learning experience as well. Okay, so these tools, what do I actually use them for? Twitch is my live stream, so this is my synchronous learning component. I tell the students that we're going to have class every class period at that time, right? So I will live stream my lecture or whatever we're doing for the day to Twitch. Everybody, with exception, obviously, will join in the chat room, and this is how I can interact with students where I'm on video, they're watching me. They can chat, so basically they have text responses if they want. And I lost my Google Chat here. Sorry. So this is my live component, right? So this is where the video is going out to. That's what they're watching. Obviously, these are college students. Not all of them are going to join, just like real life. Okay. Second component, Discord. This is maybe the contentious thing, maybe not. Like was mentioned earlier, students are already using Discord. I use Discord for non-academic stuff. I'm part of a Star Trek community. I'm part of a Adobe After Effects community. It's a great environment for discussion, honestly. This is your Slack equivalent if you like Slack, right? I have Slack and Discord for various things. My preference is Discord. This is where I have my class interaction synchronously and asynchronously. I will hold my office hours in here. I will handle student questions in here. If I have project teams, they each get their own chat room. They can go live with their video. They can do voice chat through this. Basically, it's a nice little environment. Again, optimized for gaming, but this means, again, that it's optimized for speed and for reliability. Okay. When I am live streaming, I'm not doing it right now in the server, I will also be on a Discord voice channel. So if students want to actually join in and talk to me during lecture, they can just join this voice chat room. They can talk to me directly, and that voice would go out on the stream. Everybody could hear it. Not everybody used it. People are more comfortable just typing out what they're doing, but it's kind of a nice benefit for those who actually want to talk. You're going to get students who want to talk to you, and that's great. All right, third component, recording. So YouTube is where things go to live forever. So if you follow any streamers, you might see the term VOD passed around. So basically, this is your video on demand, assuming that's the right definition of the acronym. My Twitch stream will go, I will upload it to YouTube. I will link to it, and we use Moodle. If you use Blackboard or whatever your course web page is, here's the recording of the stream. Students can go back to it and watch it. Depending on how you have your Twitch set up, you might have all of their chats going through as well. I don't have my Twitch stream to record user chats in this video, but if they watch the Twitch playback, they can see that. In the future, I'd probably add that. If you've ever watched a Twitch stream, like somebody playing a game or doing a hobby, you might see responses kind of going up and down the screen. That's the kind of thing which kind of gives you that user interaction engagement kind of environment. All right, so 3 tools here. Finally, into some screenshots here. So this is what my students would see if they go to my Twitch page. So here's my interface. This is actually from a student presentation from last semester where they were demoing learning how to model a human heart in Blender. Super cool project. It was a graphics class. They had access to Google Cloud as well because they had to do project websites. But what you see here is kind of the meat of my environment. So you have a live video, right? On the right side here is the chat room. Now here is where students can talk to me. You see their usernames. I'm Mr. Dr. Professor, so I'm highlighted. Got another person chiming in. Um, and you have that kind of live interaction. Again, if you're in my current setup, I would see their chats popping up on my secondary monitor, and I can just address them as they come in, right? So there are also other options. Students can go back and watch old videos. I've actually had students make clips of my videos and turn me into a GIF, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. Um, See, the intent here is honestly have a lot of fun with it. And Twitch streaming is actually it's actually kind of exhilarating, honestly. I have a really good time with it. You could, I'll get to some caveats later, but this is also available to anybody, right? So I'm live streaming now. I'm not super monitoring what's going on. I've got, hey, cool. Hi, Catherine. Um, Going to assume that's you, but I can engage with them. I can see that. There is a slight delay with Twitch, so you just have to kind of be patient at times. All right, so trying not to alt tab and disrupt everything. Is it hard to coordinate chat and Twitch and Discord at the same time? It depends on your setup. So by and large, in class, I will tell students that I'm going to be watching the Twitch stream. It's hard to have three, 4 separate windows open and watch everything. But what you can do is you can make like your window sizes in such a way that I could see Discord, I could see Twitch. Um, I have Discord on my phone, so I'll get a little buzz if somebody sends me a message. So basically, if they get my attention, I can address it. It's fine to stop and take a second, grab a sip of coffee, check over your messages, make sure everybody's good. I like to talk a lot, which is weird because I'm a antisocial engineer, so this is kind of interesting for me. All right, so this is the Twitch screen. This is what's going out live to the internet. The cool thing I will mention with this particular setup is that if you have students that follow you, I've had students drop into class that are not part of the class. Like I know who they are, I know their usernames. Um, I've had students from my sysadmin class drop in on my graphics class because they want to learn Unity. I'm perfectly okay with that. You don't have the fire marshal requirement of only 50 students in a room here. You can talk to however many people you want. There are some downsides to that. We'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so that's Twitch. Here is now my Discord page. Thanks, Google. I know I'm presenting. This is what I see. My channel name, it used to be Oakland University related. Students suggested I changed it to Fred Ruckers to be like the hamburger joint. But this is kind of the interface that I use to talk with my students. They like the live chat. They like being able to get a hold of me, whenever I'm happy to respond, basically. But I'm usually online way too much. So this is just second nature for me. Feel free to impose limits if you don't want students pinging you at 1 a.m. I'm up working anyway, so I don't care necessarily. What you see here, though, is there a way to restrict access on the Twitch stream? No, that's one of the downsides, and that's something I will address. But at least for Discord, what you see here, so on the left are all of my channels for this server. So this is my Oakland University server, my student server. I had a professor when I was an undergrad. He set up a web forum for his students to use. He minimally moderated it, and he let the students just kind of run wild with what they posted on there. It started with homework questions, went into scheduling LAN parties, went into discussing news and games, and it was the most wonderful thing for a student to have a professor engage with you like that. And that's kind of what led me to create this Discord server where it's minimally class related. We have rooms for talking about homework, talking about class related material. So if students have homework questions, if they have problems, if they want to just ask me anything about class, they can. We also talk about current events, talk about sports, talk about games. People will post jobs that they know of for other students to get to. We had a Minecraft server going for a while where we'd get information on that. So basically, this doesn't have to be Discord specific, right? This could be done on Slack. You could set up PHPBB or a Google group or however you want to do that. The students are using this, and it's a nice little interface for this kind of thing. Down here at the bottom, where if you see my mouse moving around, I've got this project team discussions. It's kind of minimized. but I created a channel for every single project team, and I made them have team discussions on there since, we don't want people meeting in real life, at least in the spring. Have your discussions online. Here's a voice channel for you all to use. Make sure you give me a heads up that you're going to be meeting and give me some notes of what you guys talked about after. So let's facilitate and enable the students to actually meet online in obviously a safe way. One other thing here, which this is a thing for me, you all will have different opinions. I can guarantee you all have different opinions on this. You are going to notice that you don't see everybody's real name. So this daemons, these are bots that I have on the server. Some of them I've written, some of them I've invited. Discord scripting is super easy and I love it. But I don't necessarily know who everybody is in here. And to me, that was kind of important. I've found personally, again, anecdotally, people are more apt to share and interact if they don't have their real name there. Take that for positive or negative. A lot of you will probably want to enforce, I need to know who all of you are. For me, I don't enforce that until I need to help you with your homework. If you want to be anonymous or if you want to, not self-identify to the rest of the class because this is your personal hobby and you don't want them to know, that's fine. I don't care. I will moderate. So I've had people try to bring in the darker parts of the internet, kind of more risque jokes. And I will delete that. I'll say, you can't do that here. I have a very clear set of rules for what you can and can't do. I invite people to the server, so it's not just a free-for-all post on the internet kind of thing. So I don't have random people not affiliated with Oakland joining. But if they want to be anonymous, that's fine. And honestly, anecdotally, again, I've had more people engage with me on here than I ever have anywhere in real life or on email or Moodle forums or anything. One other thing too, which I just thought about and getting a little bit off script, that was the coolest thing as a teacher to see in the world was students asking questions about homework on here and other students helping them. I was getting ready to respond and I'm seeing them help each other, right? They're not in the same group. They're not, they're just helping each other. I thought that was super cool. It was heartwarming as a teacher. What do you need bots for? Are your female and other URM students uncomfortable or comfortable? I have a lot of female students who have joined. They have interacted. Nobody has had an issue. I actually, so I will go into detail about online behavior and all that kind of fun stuff. If anybody has a problem or is uncomfortable with anything, feel free to talk to me directly and we'll address it. I did have one issue. This was actually in person where I had to address it, not online. But honestly, I have never had anybody say they were uncomfortable with something that happened in here. Again, I will moderate the server heavily, and I have graduate students who are more mature who will help me as well. But we want to make sure everybody's comfortable, definitely. One other thing, so the question, so what are the bots for? I have 4 bots here under Damon. So giveaway bot, this was something that I thought was kind of cool. I enjoy playing games. Some of you may be aware of something called the Humble Bundle, where basically you give money to charity and you get a bunch of games in return from developers. Sometimes I don't want the games, or sometimes, I only want 1 out of 5. I started giving games away to my students that I don't want. So that's what Giveaway Bot does. It kind of randomly will pick that. MC Bot, so this was basically a Minecraft server status bot. So it'd tell me who's on my server, who's playing, what the status is, and it just pings in here. Me6, this is a wonderful bot for moderating, assigning roles, for managing your Discord channel. So basically, this is just a little separate program running. Sidekick, I thought it'd be fun for the students who like Dungeons and Dragons to have a D20 roller or a D100 roller bot. Hasn't been used too much, but I have had students who like D&D play around with that a little bit. So basically, if there is something that you want to automate with your server, that's what a bot is for. Slack has bots too. Twitch has bots as well. Okay, how much time passes by until you delete a post from Raphael? Are you talking about Twitch or Discord? So Discord, this is just the history is there forever.
Yeah, Discord, because if somebody gonna be uncomfortable, I want to make my school to make SNL yet again.
Right. Yeah. So if there's anything that is questionable or uncomfortable, I will manually go in and delete it. Um, you can actually specify how long the history is and if people can even see the history. I leave it on. My kind of guiding principle has been that if it's not a problem, I'm not going to proactively remove a feature. If somebody comes to me and says, this is not working for me, it's uncomfortable, we will address it, kind of a thing. Um, I'm not setting this up for anybody to be uncomfortable. That's kind of the guiding principle, right? You make your classroom safe and comfortable. This kind of an area should be no different. I make it like a safe space for the students in a way. Like I said, people have been super comfortable in using this. If there's a problem, they are aware that it will be addressed swiftly and with great anger from my end that I even had to, you know, deal with that. At the beginning of class, I say, you are all adults. You need to act like it. If you don't, there will be consequences and repercussions. And by and large, students will actually be good with that. They're happy to be treated as adults. How do you restrict access to the Discord server? It's invite only. So I will send out a link to the students, or I'll put up a QR code or something like that. And only the students who are in the classes will join, basically. And as the moderator and owner of the server, I have access to how that invite is shared. But again, if you don't like Discord, feel free to use Slack or something else. I just think a one-on-one ability to interact with students through chat is great. A GitHub plugin so my team gets notifications. That's awesome. Actually, I didn't realize there was a Git plugin for that, but that's great. That'd be awesome for term projects. Other things with this too, so you have the ability to do voice and video chat on here. I think with the video chat, you're allowed to have 50 concurrent viewers. So if you have a larger class, that might not work. Kind of why I'm using Twitch, because my sysadmin classes are generally larger than 50. But you can have voice channels, like I will idle in the voice chat when it's my office hours, right? So you can't physically be on campus. I'm just going to be on a voice chat for an hour, be just like I'm sitting in my office. But yeah, we can definitely go into Discord more if anybody wants to later on. Other thing that I use is YouTube. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. This is my repository of all my videos. I do not put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel because I just upload videos to this. I categorize them by class. I title them and all of that fun stuff, but basically this is just, I'm going to link to YouTube because it's never going to be deleted. Fun thing I've learned about copyright strikes and how much copyrighted videos I use in my material sometimes. Like here, the VPN lecture, this is a clip from the Hackers movie, which if you haven't seen it, you all should. That's a wonderful 90s era movie. I think this is my first copyright strike, was when I had a clip from that pop up. But you're basically seeing, these are all my lectures. You've got a little thumbnail of me talking in the top corner. Up to you if you want to put your face on camera or not. My instinct is that it's more personal, but again, everything I've done so far is anecdotal evidence. Okay, so that's the tool chain. Another principle that I had here was to be interactive and have fun with it. So if this is not fun, if this is not working, then obviously we have to look for a solution to it. The key with live streaming that I found, not with just teaching, but watching other people do streams, is that there's a notion of interaction. So I will make a point, I'll be lecturing, if you've got a whiteboard, I'm writing, okay, I've made my point, let's talk, pretend it's a normal classroom. I'm talking to a camera right now, I'm pointing at a camera. If you're just looking at the slides, you don't see that, but I'll take a breath, have a sip of coffee. I'll wait for responses to come in on the chat. Make sure that your students feel engaged. If they're just sitting in their bedroom watching a video, there's no interaction, there's no engagement. They'll watch it, forget it within 10 minutes, and then go back to the the automated captioning and figure out what I said, right? But if you can try to engage them in some way, that's going to be the real interesting points here. I will say I've had more interaction on this platform than I ever have in class, which is to me very interesting and very intriguing. I'm sure there are studies out there for that where people feel more comfortable chatting through text instead of in person and live. But I literally will, my lectures will go twice as long because somebody's talking in chat or typing in chat and I'm addressing them rather than, droning on and on and on, which is great. Another thing with this environment, and this is kind of a caveat for those of you who are not maybe into this area, enjoy learning a new language, all the new slang and terminology, because like was mentioned before we even started this talk, they're using this for Twitch, or sorry, they're using this in their personal lives. There is an entire subculture around the different emoticons and emotes and what they all mean. And it's going to be up to us, the elderly, in a way, to learn what the kids are talking about. We're going to have to learn what the term poggers means and what the various emotes mean, right? Um, you screw up when you're talking. I'm making a point and then I get all mealy mouthed and I can't say anything. I get a string of F's in the chat. They're paying respect because I'm dead or something like that. It's just kind of fun to learn. One other thing too, so about interacting and having fun. Um, I've only scratched the surface of what you can do with Twitch, but I've added a custom command here. So this redeem raise hand. Tails pops up, a little GIF. So if somebody puts this command into my Twitch chat, this little guy's going to pop up on the screen. Okay, well, if I'm looking up at my ceiling, if I'm talking, if I'm just kind of going into a point, I'm going to see this guy pop up and it's going to catch my attention. It's also kind of fun to see in a way as well. But basically, if they type that in, I know that somebody's raising their hand. Think of it kind of like a more fun version of clicking the raise hand button in Zoom or Teams or something like that. So there's a ton of these kinds of things you can do. I've only, again, scratched the surface. Right. So a couple of things. My oh crap slide, my oops slide. I've already committed one of these. I forgot to hit record. How many funny anecdotes have you seen on Twitter or, faculty posts or anything like that? I spent 20 minutes lecturing and I didn't hit record. Happens to everybody. This is not a problem. So Twitch automatically is pushing this video to their servers as I'm streaming it. So you can get a video downloader, which talking to Google, I don't know what the legality of this is or not, but this is basically going to rip down a video from Twitch or YouTube or Dailymotion or wherever you're putting your videos. You have the local copy, which is nice to back up, put on your, your home storage and keep for later. Twitch, when I was doing this, they had a problem with their link from Twitch to YouTube. There is an export button. It wasn't working when I was doing my class. It might be fixed, it might not. But what I would do is I'd hit record, I'd start my stream. If I forgot, I would use this kind of a tool. The reason why I say I'm going to use this kind of a tool is that the quality is higher if you do it this way. If you click download from Twitch, you're going to get a lower quality video. If I do it with this video downloader, it comes down in 720p. Just kind of an idiosyncrasy of Twitch. If there's a nice direct export to YouTube, that's much better. Problem number 2 happens to all of us. We're talking, we get in the zone, and you screw up. You say something wrong or something incorrect. Maybe it's a little bit off. Maybe it's your weird sense of humor. This is not a problem. Make a joke about it and move on. Right? Don't let it ruin your entire stream, your entire class. Now, if you say something bad or offensive, then you obviously have to address it. But that's going to be, it's a completely different topic. I screw up a talk about Bash or pushing something to Google Cloud Functions or, something like that. Let's fix it. Let's have a good time. Watch all the students make fun of you in the chat. Have a good time with it. The one thing to keep in mind with this new world that we're in is that you're recording for the internet. It's going to live on forever in some way. Whether you delete it, hopefully it's gone, but there's probably already a copy of it somewhere. You're just going to have to live with that knowledge that my lecture on VPNs and containers is probably going to be there forever in some fashion. So make sure that you've reiterated or you've rehearsed what you want to say and that you don't, say something that's going to be negative 30 years down the line. Okay. couple of caveats and warnings that I found. So this is actually to, I think it was Crystal's point. Twitch streams are completely public. They are completely published. So if anybody wants to find my stream, they will find it. People can randomly find your streams. Okay? So sometimes Twitch will push random, you know, channels, and this will be, maybe you're on the front page of Twitch. Then you get 50 million people jump into your stream. There are ways to minimize this and avoid it, but just be aware this is a possibility. Be able to address it if it happens. Okay, so one thing which I found was super helpful, and if he ends up watching this, one of my former students was very, very helpful in getting me up and running with this. He helped me moderate things if it got out of hand. Nothing happened, but I knew that I had a student kind of watching my chat to see if somebody from the other corner of the internet wants to come in and just ruin everybody's day, right? There are ways to ban and moderate people like that. So thank you, Justin. You have automated systems or bots, basically, which can monitor for curse words. They can monitor for offensive words. They can. There's a lot of automation you can bring into the mix as well. This is where I'm going to get a little bit deeper into what Twitch does. Disable raids, disable hosting other streams. What these terms mean is that sometimes a streamer will raid another streamer's page. That means all of their viewers are going to come in to your channel at the same time. It's a great way for people who are looking to make this a living to get a sudden boost in popularity, right? Get yourself to the top of the page. This is great if you want that visibility. If you're teaching, you don't want 500 people suddenly showing up that have no idea what you're talking about. So you can disable that. You don't allow other people to bring their crew into your channel. Hosting other streams is another thing where basically your channel will automatically host, say, your student streaming Minecraft or your student doing something. You can have your channel be used as kind of a window to the rest of the world. This is another way to get visibility. I don't like it because I don't want non-students in here. Your mileage may vary, your preference may vary, obviously. Understand how to mute and ban people if necessary. There are Twitch commands for muting people, for banning them. Keep in mind that they can just create a new account and come back in, but understand what those commands are so that you can quickly fire off a mute command if somebody comes in and starts saying racist or offensive things. Right? It's the internet, it may happen. It's just the thing we have to live with. I've got actually a link here which is helpful. Most important thing, do not set your stream category to be something popular. If I set my stream to be just chatting, I am now going to be published with the hundreds and thousands of other people who are just chatting, and maybe somebody finds that link. If I set my category to talking to Google Cloud faculty about Twitch, nobody's going to find that unless you're searching for that, right? Twitch offers monetization. Disable it. Okay, it shouldn't even be an option for you. We don't want students tipping you for a good job, right? You're making a salary. Don't get into the mindset that this is going to be an extra cash cow for you. Just ethically, it's a very bad area to get into. Third thing, which if you're, well, we're not watching my Google Meet camera anymore, make sure you have good quality equipment and internet. So you need a good internet connection. You need good cameras. You need good audio. Nobody likes blurry video, tinny audio, pixelated video. It's just going to make for a terrible experience for the student. Get an HD camera, get a good microphone. It's worth it. I got an HD camera for my school. I've got a very nice pair of headphones with a good mic on it. You're going to see a lot of people with like those, what are they, Blue Yeti microphones or something like that. Get good equipment. It's gonna be worth it. All right, I am almost done yammering on, I promise. So have some fun with this too. Sometimes when class is done, when I'm off the clock, I'll throw up a game. So if I'm playing a game, I'll stream it. My students can jump in and make fun of me for doing a bad job. Again, this is not part of class. I'm not forcing people to jump in and watch. If they want to talk about class stuff, I will stop my game. I'll talk to them. But this is a great way to humanize yourself, right? You're this blob, you're this nameless entity telling them what they have to do and holding their grade over their head. It's kind of cool to kick back and actually be a normal person with them sometimes too. So this is one game that my computer can handle streaming at the same time. I'll play old roguelikes every now and again. Again, I don't monetize any of it. I don't advertise any of it. But if I'm relaxing at 11 at night, I'll throw on my streaming software while I'm doing this. Some of my students will jump in and we'll just talk. It's great. I love it. So have fun, but don't do it while you're on the clock. That's kind of weird, right? Okay, so too long didn't listen. I've been talking a lot, expanding a lot, which is good. Tools that your students use and are familiar with is a huge plus. Be safe and be smart and have fun. That's kind of been my guiding principles. Okay, so I'm going to go live now. I mean, I've been live since the beginning. I'm done talking through slides. I'm going to show you my setup. This will be different for you, obviously. So I use Streamlabs OBS for streaming. This is a Windows-only software. OBS is open source and cross-platform. It's what people are going to use on Mac or Linux. If you're going to be streaming more or less, I'm sure there are other tools out there. Streamlabs is a absolutely beautiful wrapper around OBS to make it exceedingly easy to get up and running. All right, so I'll bring that over to my main screen in a second. Obviously, Discord too. If you join my server, it can be an application you install or a website that you visit. I like installing it locally because having a very, very active tab in my Chrome just kills my computer. But I think, honestly, it's just an Electron application anyway. All right, so I will kind of continuously monitor for questions, but the issue is going to be now that I don't think I can actually move this thing because, all right, I'm going to have to restart my stream here, which is never fun. So you can see me at least kick it off. While I'm moving this back up, anybody